Hi, welcome to Power to the Flower, a Zone 9 gardening channel. Today I'm back at it with my wreaths. I'll be transforming this Christmas wreath over to a spring wreath. The last time I posted about this wreath was when I transformed it from a summer wreath to a fall wreath. I got a lot of questions and feedback about that video, and so I thought it would be great to just talk about some of the details that make transforming wreaths each season really easy for me. Let's talk about supplies first. So everything that I have was purchased on sale, and the way that I do that is I shop at the end of the season for next year. And that way I can keep a large amount of supplies handy, ready to go when the next season comes. The second thing I do is reuse everything. And so I attach it to the wreath in a way that allows me to save it for next season. I use 4 storage bins, one for flowers, one for foliage, one for Christmas, and one for autumn. Using dried angel vine like this or grapevine wreath bases are the easiest to reuse, I find. The first thing I do is I look for holes in the wreath base, and that's what I need to cover with my foliage. 22 or 24 gauge wire and wire cutters are my main tools here. In terms of designing the wreath, I always start with foliage. And in terms of which foliage, I always look for foliage or flowers that look absolutely real. And then I trim them off into individual segments that are easier to use. I stuff them into the wreath base. If that doesn't work, then I use my wire to wrap it around the wreath base and secure it. After layering the base foliage, I then look for little pieces of color that I can pop in. So in this case, I'm going to be adding some purple and some pink. And again, these came as one piece, and I trimmed off the individual stems and individual pieces and just used them as accents. This is a great example of flower choice. These little thistle flowers looked so real to me, but the leaves looked terribly fake. So I bought this plant knowing that I would cut it up and I would take the leaves off, but use the flowers as little pops of color, as I'm doing here. I like having a load of color choice on hand because I never really know where I'm going when I start. And this would be another top tip. If your wreath is going somewhere where there are other strong colors around, then take that into consideration. I did not think about that as I started this wreath, and I just got really excited about thinking about spring and pastels and putting this all together. And this would work perfectly if I was putting it on my front porch or on a different door, but because it was this door, I did not take into consideration the bright yellow, the bright red, and the bright white in the area where I was hanging this. And so once again, I found myself staring at my wreath thinking, I don't like it. I ended up going back to my boxo flowers and tried a load of different color choices and putting this together. In the end, the obvious choice was to stick with what I already had, which was yellows, reds, and whites. And I kept those pink and purple accent plants in there to kind of transition us into the spring. And ta-da! I think it turned out perfectly, and I really love the way that it actually pulls out the colors in the area. So I hope this was helpful for you in terms of thinking about making reusable wreaths with reusable material. Thanks so much for joining Power to the Flower, a Zone 9 gardening channel. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking it or sharing it with friends. I post new videos on Tuesdays, or you can find me on Facebook and Instagram during the week. See you in the next one. Bye.